So, today we'll be looking at a scenario in Africa forms an empire. So let's get started. So we have their first invasion being Eritrea. So yeah, let's jump right in. So we have them coming down from Western Sahara, attempting to take over the coast, where Eritrea is not a very powerful country. It's a very poor one. So with Morocco being a superior military power, and then also Algeria being there, Eritrea starts to fall really quickly. And most of the country starts to capitulate. And eventually all of it surrenders. And for the first time now, well, not for the first time, but Northern Africa has just made their first expansion. Next thing they will be doing is going to war with some Middle Eastern countries. So we'll have them jump into Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, and Israel. They have been preparing for this war for a while, so they have gonna be able to roll through pretty quickly. So they come down through Israel and push into Jordan. From here, they try to move up the coast, but Israel has a really good military and stops them. Although in Jordan, not the same can be said, and Jordan is split into two. And the eastern side of the country capitulates, and the same with the western side. They invade Palestine, and from here they cut into Israel, taking the entire city of Jerusalem. Although down here in the south, we do have Israel pushing back into Egypt a little bit and pushing them out of the south, and then eventually taking back Jerusalem and liberating all of Israel. But Egypt doesn't really North Africa doesn't really like this, so they come back in. They encircle Israel and Palestine, who are now not really buddies, but have better relations. And both countries' only hopes here are that they last longer than the other, but they both die definitely at the same time. Syrian rebel groups help the North Africans in their advance, and all of Syria dies, because that happens, because it's Syria, so of course they would just die. And the only reason I included Palestine and Israel on the same team is if I didn't, and one team won, there'd be just a few people mad, right? Really, just a few people mad. Alright, sorry. So, all of these Middle Eastern countries around North Africa now do start to get a little bit scared, as North Africa just could invade any one of them really, other than Turkey, Iran, and maybe Saudi Arabia. They might be able to do that and take the coast. Wink wink. But the next thing they take over is Sudan and Eritrea. So we have them reorganizing their troops from the Middle East and pushing down the coast into Sudan with a surprise invasion. And with this, Sudan capitulated, but with the coast of Sudan gone, the country does start to fall pretty quickly, as this is the only thing keeping Sudan alive. And I'm pretty sure that's where most of their population would probably be as well. So, yeah. So, during this, though, we have an uprising in South Sudan. We do have Eritrea managing to hold back the Northern Africans, but Sudan cannot do the same thing, and they start to die. And eventually, with the help of South Sudan, they manage to push Sudan out. And they push into Eritrea, but they are eventually held back with Ethiopian support, because they don't like Egypt. But eventually, Eritrea does fall. And with this, we have Sudan, actually not all of Sudan joining, because South Sudan wanted their independence, like always. So, the North Africans gave them just that. And they would get the rest of the country, which that kind of looks like the real life borders. Tiny bit. So we have all Sudan and Eritrea going to North Africa. We have Yemen joining them, because why not, to be honest. They're probably one of the biggest countries in the world. Probably bigger than India, that's for sure. And then maybe the same size as Brazil or China. Maybe Australia, or maybe bigger than that, but they are a very, very big country. So the next thing that happens is the invasion of Portugal. So, and the Portuguese military is far superior than the Northern Africans, so with Britain's help, Portugal does manage to push into Morocco a bit and push down the coast. And Northern Africa, knowing that it would be kind of hard to, win against Portugal, they just signed a peace treaty with them and gave them a little bit of Morocco. A tiny sliver. It's not like Morocco's really mad at the rest of Northern Africa for being so stupid or anything. Yeah, but now that's Portuguese. But with their failures in Portugal, they have better ideas with Saudi Arabia. And helping them in this is Iran, Iraq, and Yemen too, I guess. But that's like the main reason they joined. They want to kill Saudi Arabia. Yeah. So we have Northern Africans helping out Yemen, Yemenites or whatever they're called, push into Saudi Arabia, and all they really need to do is capture the coast. And all these countries, mostly being Islamic, don't really want to kill Mecca, but they do take the city. Saudi Arabia was not prepared for this at all. We have Iraq really wants to kill Kuwait, but nobody would let them, so yeah. But we have Kuwait. I'm just saying, if you don't kill us, we'll let you send troops through us, essentially. So yeah, we have Iran invading, sending a naval invasion of Saudi Arabia's coast, and then eventually they push through the entire coast, but they are stopped for a while And in Yemen, they are even pushed back, and a large portion of Yemen is captured. So while the Saudi Arabians are focusing in Yemen, the Northern Africans, Iraqis, and Persians do manage to push even further down, and eventually they start to supply North Africans in Yemen even more. And at this point, Saudi Arabia dies again, for like the 9th time. Oh. So we have the peace treaty getting drawn up between all these countries. So let's look at that. And all of them just wanted to bully Saudi Arabia. So we have a large portion of Saudi Arabia going to the North African Yemen province. I guess you could call it that. And this is heavily supported by Northern Africans, because there's no way Yemen could hold on to this. There's absolutely no way. We have them getting this land up here, and they wanted to connect their provinces, but Iran already got this, and the world didn't let. The U.S. would have issues with that if they couldn't trade with Saudi Arabia, so yeah. And then we have Iraq getting a large amount of land as well. So let's fix the borders here. So yeah, let's clear the borders. So this is what a North African empire would look like, and I'll show you what their allies would be. So they're strong allies with Iraq and Iran. They are also apparently allies with Djibouti, as their political shift, and both of them want to kill Ethiopia. We also have Mali joining in with them. And we have Armenia and Russia being allies with them. As that's just a Russian thing to do. Other countries that like them is Sierra Leone. I think this is what it is, or maybe it's that one, I forget. And then also Senegal, Burkina Faso, South Sudan, obviously, the UAE. This is kind of like a puppet, a little bit, not really, still owned by US. We have Spain, as they want to do stuff with Portugal later on, but so this is what a African empire, a North African empire might look like in 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.